November 20th, 2023 Daily Bread. Passage Luke chapter 22, verse 54 through 71. Key verse 69. Title, The Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the mighty God. Then seizing him, they led him away and took him into the house of the high priest. Peter followed at a distance, and when some there had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard, and had sat down together, Peter sat down with them. A servant girl saw him seated there in the firelight. She looked closely at him and said, "This man was with him." But he denied it. "Woman, I don't know him," he said. A little later, someone else saw him and said, "You also are one of them." "Man, I am not," Peter replied. About an hour later, another asserted, "Certainly this fellow was with him, for he is a Galilean." Peter replied, "Man, I don't know what you are talking about." Just as he was speaking, the rooster crowed. The Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word the Lord had spoken to him. "Before the rooster crows today, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. The men who were guarding Jesus began mocking and beating him. They blindfolded him and demanded, "Prophesy, who hit you?" And they said many other insulting things to him. At daybreak, the council of the elders of the people, both the chief priest and the teachers of the law, met together, and Jesus was led before them. "If you are the Messiah," they said, "tell us." Jesus answered, "If I tell you, you will not believe me. And if I ask you, you would not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the mighty God." They all asked, "Are you then the Son of God?" He replied, "You say that I am." Then they said, "Why do we need any more testimony? We have heard it from his own lips." Daily Bread Message. Jesus was led to the high priest to be tried. Peter was loyal to Jesus, but he was not prepared for the crisis. He did not pray like Jesus, so he followed at a distance without a decision of faith. Then he sat down around the fire, pretending to be one of them. However, when confronted by a servant girl, he denied even knowing Jesus out of fear. After the first denial, the next 2 came easily. Just then, the rooster crowed, and Jesus turned and looked straight at him. Peter went out and wept bitterly. Jesus silently bore the soldiers' mockery, beating, and insult, like a lamb led to the slaughter. However, Jesus was not silent before the council. When they asked Jesus if he was the Messiah, he claimed to be the Messiah. When they asked him if he was the Son of God, he said, "I am," not hiding his identity, though he knew that his answer would cause his death. At this, they condemned Jesus as guilty of blasphemy. Jesus was tried before the council as a criminal, though innocent, but he was confident of his victory, having the resurrection faith that he would sit on the throne of God as the sovereign ruler and judge over all mankind through his death and resurrection. Prayer. Lord, help me to repent like Peter when I fail, and live with unshakable faith in your kingdom. One word, sinless Jesus was tried in my place.